Listen carefully. This one video will decide your next 5 years. Not by luck, not by fate, but by how deeply you absorb what I'm about to tell you. Most people wander through life without a strategy. Reactive, emotional, desperate for validation. They chase distraction, not direction. But you're here because something inside you refuses to be ordinary. You've felt it. That quiet rage, that hunger for control. Machiavelli once wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally," that the difference between the powerful and the powerless. The powerful act with intent, the powerless wait for permission. Every empire, every dynasty, every legend began with one decision: to stop playing the game and start engineering it. You can be liked or you can be respected. You can chase pleasure or command destiny. The choice defines everything. Understand this. Power isn't loud. It doesn't beg to be seen. It moves through silence, hidden behind calm eyes and calculated words. When true power strikes, it leaves no warning, own aftermath. If you're ready to become the one others can't touch, comment this now: I move in silence, but my results roar. 1. The law of control: power begins where emotion ends. The weak react, the strong calculate. You must learn to treat every situation as a chessboard, every move deliberate, every reaction controlled. When you master your emotions, you master the battlefield. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mighty yet still. Most men fall because they let anger, jealousy, and fear dictate their actions. They play someone else's game. The true strategist stays cold, not heartless, but fought. He uses emotion as a weapon, never as a weakness. When someone provokes you, watch them, not with fury, but curiosity. Observe how easily they give away their control, that's your advantage. The world is filled with people who want to be understood, validated, loved. You want to win. Control means being calm when others panic. It means staying silent when others overshare. It means never giving anyone the satisfaction of knowing what truly moves you. To be unpredictable is to be untouchable. From this moment on, stop reacting, start observing. Every word you say, every silence you hold, should serve a purpose. Comment this right now: I don't react, I calculate. Because the one who controls himself controls the outcome. And soon, when chaos erupts around you, you'll stand in the center, untouched, unbothered, unbroken. 2. The mask of power. Power doesn't always need to reveal itself. In fact, the most dangerous kind hides behind calm eyes and a quiet smile. This is the mask of power, the art of appearing harmless while holding the ability to destroy. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." Understand that perception is a weapon. The world judges the surface, so you must control what they see. Never show your entire hand. Let them underestimate you. Let them relax. While they get comfortable, you're studying every weakness, every flaw, every emotional crack. When the time comes, you strike with precision, not noise. The greatest predators move slow, then kill fast. Most people waste energy proving their strength. They talk too much, react too quickly, and expose their intentions. The Machiavellian mind doesn't need validation. It thrives in the shadows, shaping outcomes while others chase attention. Silence is not weakness. It's dominance disguised in stillness. Your face must be unreadable, your words few, your motives unknown. When they think they understand you, change. When they think you're finished, begin again. Control perception and you control reality. Remember, power that visible can be challenged. Power that invisible becomes legend. So from this day forward, wear the mask, calm, calculating, unpredictable. The world will call you mysterious, even cold. Let them. Their confusion is your protection. Comment this right now: my silence speaks louder than their noise, because the silent man with purpose terrifies those who live loud without it. Stay patient, stay hidden, stay dangerous. This is the beginning of psychological dominance, the art of walking through chaos untouched. 3. The power of distance. A rule in power few will understand. Closeness breeds weakness. The more available you are, the less you are respected. The more predictable your presence, the less power your absence carries. The greats of history, Caesar, Napoleon, Machiavelli, master one thing above all: distance. Distance creates mystique. It makes others wonder what you're thinking, where you are, and what you'll do next. That uncertainty breeds respect, sometimes even fear. People value what they can't easily reach. So learn this truth. Presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. Withdraw strategically, speak less, appear less. But when you do appear, command attention. Let your return feel like a storm-breaking silence. The feint is not to isolate completely, but to create scarcity. Even your silence should feel intentional, like a move in a grand game. Most people destroy their value by chasing connection. They overshare, over-explain, overstay. They confuse accessibility with loyalty and end dumb but open books no one reads anymore. You must be the arc manuscript no one can fully decode. Leave traces, not trails. Let curiosity work in your favor. Psychologically, distance rewires the dynamic. The one who withdraws becomes the one who controls the pace. Your silence forces us to fill it with speculation. Your absence makes them seek your presence. This is emotional leverage and it's priceless. So when you feel the urge to prove yourself, resist. When they demand answers, give silence. When they pull, stand still. Remember, the lion doesn't chase, it waits. This discipline will make you magnetic. People will project strength onto you because they can't read you. They'll want to please you, impress you, understand you. That's the paradox of power. The less you give, the more they invest. Keep your circle tight, your words fewer, your movements deliberate. Never let anyone think they've figured you out. Every interaction should end with one question in their mind. What is he planning next? 4. The art of psychological war. Every battle begins in the mind, long before it fought in the world. The true warrior doesn't swing first, he observes, studies, and waits. This is psychological war, the battlefield of perception, emotion, and influence. Machiavelli wrote that it's not enough to defeat your enemies, you must also shape their reality. That the real power bending their beliefs until they destroy themselves for you. The weak rely on force. The powerful rely on manipulation, not through lies, but through control of perception. You don't tell people what to think, you make them believe they thought it themselves. Subtlety wins more wars than swords. To wage psychological war, you must first become emotionally invisible. That means no outbursts, no reactions, no signs of weakness. When others attack, stay still. When they insult, smile. Your composure will unnerve them more than rage could. They expect conflict, give them calm. Calm confuses, calm terrifies. Then, mirror them. Study their tone, their rhythm, their habits. Make them feel understood. People lower their guard when they feel seen. The more they talk, the more they reveal. The more you listen, the stronger you become. Every secret they spill is a weapon handed willingly into your hands. Next, weaponize uncertainty. Never let anyone predict your next move. Be warm one day, distant the next. Praise, then withdraw. Confuse their emotional compass until they rely on your approval for stability. That's how you dominate without raising a hand, by becoming their internal reference plate. Psychological war isn't cruelty, it's discipline. You're not breaking people for sport, you're training your mind to rule itself. Because until you can influence yourself, you'll never influence others. Self-control is the first victory, perception control is the second, emotional dominance is the third. The enemy is rarely external, it's the voice inside that tells you to react, to prove, to seek validation. Silence that voice and your opponent loses half their power instantly. When people misunderstand you, let them. When they gossip, let them. You are not there to be liked, you are there to be feared for your precision and respected for your control. Comment this right now. My calm is my weapon. Because your stillness under pressure would destroy their confidence faster than any argument. Remember, those who control attention, control emotion. Those who control emotion, control action. Those who control action control the world, win the unseen war. Learn to influence through silence, lead through detachment, and dominate through composure. You don't need to fight loudly when you've already won quietly. Stay cold, stay calculating, stay victorious in the shadows. 5. The value of ruthlessness. There comes a moment in every man's journey when mercy becomes a mask for weakness. The world will tell you to be kind, forgiving, endlessly patient. But that's the language of the powerless. Real strength, real evolution demands ruthlessness, not cruelty, not recklessness. Ruthlessness, the unwavering commitment to your purpose, no matter who or what stands in your way. Machiavelli wrote that a man who wishes to act entirely up to his professions of virtue soon meets with what destroys him among so much that is evil. The lesson is eternal. If you live by idealism, the ruthless will devour you. Good intentions mean nothing in a world that rewards results. So stop apologizing for being decisive. Stop softening your edges to make others comfortable. You're not done to be understood. You're here to ascend. To be ruthless is to see life for what it is. A game of limited resources, limited time, and unlimited competition. Everyone wants something. Money, power, validation, survival. You can't please them all. You can't save them all. If you try, you'll burn out long before you build anything real. Ruthlessness is simply choosing to prioritize your mission over emotions that distract you from it. It means saying no without guilt, cutting ties that slow your progress, making moves that others fear to make because you see 10 steps ahead while they're still deciding where to stand. Ruthlessness is clarity in motion, emotion refined into strategy. People will call you cold. They'll say you've changed. Let them. That the language of the comfortable, the timid, the ones still begging the world for permission. What they call cold, the powerful call focus. What they call selfish, the successful call strategy. You don't owe anyone your softness. You owe yourself victory. Every empire in history was built on ruthless decisions, sacrifices that ordinary Indians couldn't comprehend. Caesar crossed the Rubicon. Alexander burned his ships. Power requires commitment that terrifies the average man. When you're ruthless, hesitation dies, and in its place, dominance is born. Understand this. Ruthlessness doesn't mean cruelty toward others. It means zero compromise toward your goals. It's the discipline to walk away from what doesn't serve you, the courage to enforce boundaries no one else will. Mercy has its place, but it must be earned. Until then, your loyalty belongs to your mission. There will be nights you doubt yourself, moments you wonder if you've become too much. But every great transformation demands isolation. Every rise to power demands loss. Embrace it. Because the higher you climb, the thinner the air, and the fewer you'll find beside you. Comment this right now. I am calm, I am ruthless, I am inevitable. Repeat it until your mind accepts it, the law. Because the ruthless man doesn't seek revenge, he seeks evolution. He doesn't destroy for pleasure, he removes for progress. He doesn't wait for opportunity, he creates through dominance, discipline, and detachment. This is as legends are forged, not through kindness, but through clarity, not through noise, but through necessity. So the next time you hesitate, remember the world doesn't remember the ones who played nice, it remembers the ones who won. 6. The shadow of influence. Influence isn't about being the loudest voice in the room, it's about being the voice that stays in their heads long after the noise fades. Machiavelli understood this when he wrote, "Men are governed by two things, love and fear." But tell the truth they never tell you, influence lives in the space between the two. Not through affection, not through intimidation, but through psychological gravity. You pull people toward you without a reaching for them. The art of influence begins with unending desire. Every person you meet wants something: recognition, power, safety, validation. Most never admit it. But when you learn to see the hidden hunger behind their words, you gain control. Speak to that hunger, and they'll follow you willingly. Ignore it, and you'll always be fighting resistance. To influence others, never show your full intention. Subtlety is power. Let people think your ideas are their ideas. Feed their ego, and they'll carry your vision like it their own. The greatest manipulators in history didn't force obedience, they engineered belief. That's how you move armies without lifting a sword. Your presence must alter the emotional temperature of every room you enter. Not because you demand attention, but because your energy shifts the balance. Stillness can be magnetic when it's charged with purpose. Speak rarely, but with precision. The fewer your words, the heavier their weight. When you finally speak, make it sound inevitable. People obey confidence they can't explain. Influence all means mastering contrast. Sometimes you lead through kindness, sometimes through indifference. When people never know which version of you they'll encounter, they stay alert, invested, careful. Unpredictability breeds fascination, and fascination is the root of control. Don't mistake influence for popularity. Popularity fades when the crowd finds a new idol. Influence endures because it reshapes perception. You're not there to entertain, you're here to imprint. A leader doesn't compete for attention, he redirects it. He moves the focus like a magician moving light. To sustain influence, you must understand times. Never reveal too much too soon. Never react too quickly. Control tempo, delay responses, pause before answers, stretch silence until it becomes pressure. The world fears silence because it exposes insecurity, uses it as your weapon. And remember, emotional detachment isn't coldness, it's control. The moment they know they can affect you, you lose the upper hand. Influence requires mystery, and mystery requires restraint. Let them feel your approval, a rare currency, not a daily gift. In Machiavellian terms, appearance often outweighs truth. If people believe you hold power, you do. Confidence, posture, tone, these are your armor. Influence is theater. And every move you make is part of the act. Perform with intention. Every gesture, every silence, every glance must serve a purpose. You don't need to dominate every conversation. Just guide it subtly. Ask questions that plant ideas. Smile when others panic. Stand still when others fidget. Influence is rhythm. Those who control rhythm control reaction. Most will never see your strategy. They'll think it charisma, luck, or aura. Let them think that. Influence thrives in misunderstanding. The less they know, the more they assume, and assumption is the leash of the mind. Comment this right now. I influence through silence and precision. Remember, influence is not a tool. It's an aura forged through discipline, patience, and observation. When mastered, it doesn't just change people, it bends environments. Don't chase control, emanate it. Don't speak power, radiate it. Because in the end, true influence isn't about forcing outcomes. It's about becoming the force that makes them inevitable. 7. The discipline of solitude. Power demands distance, but greatness demands solitude. The two are not the same. Distance is strategic, solitude is transformative. Every man chasing mastery must, at a pace, step away from the noise, from validation, from distraction, from the chaos of constant connection, and face the silence that terrifies the weak. Because in solitude, there is nowhere to hide from yourself. Most people fear being alone because it exposes the truth. They have no control over their own minds. They fill their days with noise, music, gossip, scrolling, endless stimulation, anything to avoid hearing the internal chaos they refuse to confront. But the man of power, the Machiavellian strategist, understands that silence is a weapon. In it, he refines his thoughts, strengthens his will, and builds his empire from within. Solitude strips you of illusion. It shows you what you've been pretending not to see, your weaknesses, your dependencies, your insecurities. The average man runs from this confrontation. The disciplined man studies it, dissects it, rebuilds it. He becomes a scientist of his own psyche. Every flaw becomes data. Every failure becomes insight. Solitude is not loneliness, it's laboratory time for the mind. In solitude, you begin to separate yourself from the herd. You stop craving approval, you stop reacting to external noise. You learn that validation is a chain, one that keeps men compliant and predictable. When you detach from it, you become dangerous, because no one can manipulate what doesn't crave attention. Machiavelli said, "He who becomes master of a city accustomed to freedom must either destroy it or live there." Apply that to your own life. Your mind is that city, chaotic, restless, addicted to comfort. To rule it, you must first dismantle it. Solitude is how you burn the old kingdom so the new one can rise. But make no mistake, solitude isn't romantic, it's brutal. The silence will attack you at first. Doubt will whisper that you're wasting time. Insecurity will tell you that you're missing out. Fear will make you crave distraction, that your weakness begging for survival. Don't listen. Sit with it. Let it rake. Because on the other side of that discomfort lies clarity, and clarity is power. In solitude, your intuition sharp pap. You begin to see patterns others miss. You notice manipulation, energy shifts, false sincerity. Your instincts evolve from animal reaction to strategic precision. You become self-sufficient in every sense, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. You stop needing permission to act. You stop needing an audience to feel significant. You move with purpose, not pressure. This is why every great strategist, warrior, or thinker practiced isolation. Marcus Aurelius wrote in solitude. Nietzsche walked in solitude. Machiavelli plotted in solitude. Because influence without introspection collapses. Power without inner order self-destructs. You must learn to withdraw deliberately, not as an escape, but as preparation. Detach from people who drain you, from routines that dull you, from environments that blur your focus. When you step back, the world slows down. You start to see it as it is, not that you've been conditioned to. That awareness gives you control. Spend time alone not to rest, but to recalibrate. Audit your motives, strengthen your discipline, train your mind to function without reward. Because the man who thrives in solitude cannot be controlled by scarcity. He doesn't chase approval, he chooses direction. The next time you feel the pull to distract yourself, resist it. The next time you crave validation, deny it. Solitude is a kings are built, quietly, patiently, relentlessly. Comment this right now. My solitude builds my strength. Say it until it becomes identity. Because when solitude becomes your ally, no rejection can wound you, no betrayal can surprise you, and no loss can destroy you. You'll emerge from it sharper, calmer, more dangerous. You won't speak as much. You won't need to. Your silence will carry authority. Your presence will radiate certainty. Remember this truth. Solitude is not withdrawal from the world, it ascension above it. But those who master it, rule it. 8. The architecture of power. Power isn't luck, it's not charisma, it's architecture. A deliberate structure of habits, perceptions, and psychology designed to make you untouchable. Most people stumble through life hoping to be respected, but the Machiavellian mind builds respect brick by brick, decision by decision, until it becomes impossible to ignore. Power is not one finite system. At its fountain lies discipline. Without it, no strategy survives. Discipline is what turns vision into action, chaos into order. Every powerful man you've admired, emperor, strategist, CEO, shared this one trait, the ability to obey his own commands. The average man breaks promises to himself daily. The powerful man doesn't. He is his own general, his own soldier. Above discipline sits leverage. Leverage is the force that multiplies your effort while others burn themselves out chasing results. It can take many forms: knowledge, money, alliances, reputation. The Machiavellian knows how to use all four without becoming enslaved by any. He learns, earns, connects, and manipulates perception, always with the same purpose: expansion. Then comes secrecy. Every empire collapses when its plans are revealed too soon. Speak little of your intentions. Let your results announce you. As Machiavelli said, the wise man does at once what the fool does finally. You must be the man who moves in silence, the shadow behind the throne, the storm behind the calm. Secrecy keeps enemies guessing, and confusion is your greatest defense. Layered above secrecy is fear and respect. Never chase either directly, instead cultivate consistency, control, and presence so unshaken that others feel your dominance without words. Your power should be sensed, not shouted. People should hesitate before crossing you, not does you threaten them, but does they intuitively sense that consequences follow you with thunder follows lightning. But the apex of power, the crown of the architecture, is detachment. Detachment is not apathy, it's control over emotion. It's the ability to walk away from anything that compromises your peace or your purpose. Detachment gives you the one advantage few possess, the ability to act without desperation. When you need nothing, you could command everything. Every piece of this architecture reinforces the others. Discipline feeds leverage. Leverage requires secrecy. Secrecy demands detachment. Together they form the fortress of psychological power that no manipulation, betrayal, or setback can penetrate. The modern world wants you distracted, emotionally volatile, financially dependent, spiritually drained. That's how systems control men. But when you build your own architecture of power, you become a system yourself. You move with intention. You attract alliances instead of begging for them. You speak less but influence more. Ask yourself daily, what am I building? Every action either strengthens or weakens your structure. Every reaction either adds steel or cracks the foundation. You cannot afford random behavior. Every choice must serve your long gain. Power isn't about dominating the other. It's about becoming so composed, so strategically aligned that others adjust around you. You become the fixed point in a chaotic world, the silent center of gravity. Comment this right now. I am building my fortress of power. Understand this, the architecture of power is not built overnight. It's sculpted in solitude, tested in conflict, and proven in restraint. You will lose people, you will be misunderstood, you will be called cold, arrogant, distant. Let them speak. You are not chasing their comfort. You are designing your legacy. The weak crumble under pressure because their foundation is emotional. Yours must be structural. Your will is the blueprint. Your discipline is the mortar. Your silence is the steel. And when it complete, the world won't be able to destroy you because you no longer exist at their level. Build your empire from within, quietly, relentlessly, brick by brick, thought by thought, until one day they look up and realize the man they once ignored has become the storm they cannot escape. 9. The code of the predator mind. The world does not reward the harmless. It rewards the strategic. The predator mind is not about violence. It's about vision, precision, and the mastery of timing. Every great strategist, from Machiavelli to Sun Tzu, understood this. Survival belongs to the one who watches longer, moves slower, and strikes without hesitation. The predator does not chase everything. It waits for the perfect moment, then ends the day with one calculated move. Most people are prey because they are addicted to reaction. They reveal their emotions, their plans, their insecurities, all before the battle begins. The predator mind does not react, it reads. It listens. It observes patterns, tone, posture, silence. It notices what others miss because it doesn't need to be seen. Observation is the first weapon of power. The predator's strength lies in patience. Patience is not waiting, it watching with intent. While others exhaust themselves with noise and movement, the predator conserves energy, studies behavior, and anticipates outcomes. It knows that every person exposes their weakness eventually, through habit, arrogance, or desperation. You simply have to be still enough to notice it. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must learn how to fight with both the laws of man and the laws of beasts. In modern terms, that means blending civility with instinct. You must be capable of diplomacy and destruction, soft when it serves you, merciless when it required. Power belongs to those who can shift between masks without emotion. The predator mind never seeks fairness, it seeks advantage. It understands that morality is often a shield used by the weak to restrain the strong. This doesn't mean you abandon ethics, it means you redefine them. Your ethics are aligned with strategy, not approval. You do what must be done, not what makes others comfortable. To cultivate the predator mind, eliminate desperation. Desperation clouds logic. The predator acts only from strength, never from need. It does not chase validation, attention, or recognition. It moves for one reason only: results. Every conversation, every alliance, every gesture must serve the mission. Everything else is noise. Detachment is essential. You cannot dominate a game you're emotionally trapped in. The predator loves nothing more than control, not over other, but over himself. If anger, pride, or fear can manipulate you, you're still prey. When you master your impulses, you stop chasing opportunities, and opportunities begin to orbit you. The predator mind thrives on misdirection. When people think they understand your motives, shift. When they expect softness, deliver silence. When they expect surrender, deliver calculation. Predictability is death. Ambiguity is survival. The less they can read you, the less they can prepare for you. Your energy must command attention without words. Stand still longer than anyone else. Speak less, but mean every syllable. Move deliberately, like a man who already decided the outcome. That quiet certainty bends reality in your favor. People trust those who seem to need nothing. And remember, compassion is not weakness when it's chosen consciously. The predator mind can protect and uplift, but owned by choice, never by compulsion. True control means deciding when to be gentle and when to be ruthless. Both are tools, and both must obey your V. Comment this right now. I move unseen, I strike with precision. Repeat it, let it imprint on your mind. Because to live with a predator code is to never be surprised, never be shaken, never be desperate. You observe more than you reveal, act more than you announce, and achieve more than you explain. This is the evolution of power, not brute force, but psychological dominance. The man with the predator mind doesn't walk into rooms seeking approval, he enters like a storm contained in human form. Calm, unreadable, inevitable. The prey waits to be chosen. The predator chooses. The prey survives by chance. The predator thrives by design. Sharpen your instincts. Control your reactions. Become the hunter in a world full of noise and motion. Because when you move with intent, patience, and precision, you don't compete, you conquer. The untouchable state that comes a point in your evolution. When you no longer chase power, you embody it. This is the untouchable state, where emotion, validation, and fear no longer dictate your movements. It's the final transformation of the Machiavellian mind, calm, deliberate, and beyond reach. The untouchable state is not arrogance, it's mastery. It's when the chaos around you loses its grip. People gossip, betray, provoke, and you remain unmoved, because you understand something they don't. Reaction is weakness. Stillness is control. When you no longer respond to noise, the world bends to your silence. To reach this state, you must detach from every illusion of control over others and focus entirely on control over yourself. Discipline, distance, solitude, ruthlessness, influence, all the lessons before this converge here. Power stops being a performance, it becomes presence. You don't speak power, you radiate it. Every gesture, every glance, every word is measured, deliberate, sharp. You stop proving, you start existing. In that existence, everything changes. Opportunities chase you, respect follows, enemies retreat, not because you threaten them, but because they sense something in you that cannot be shaken or broken. This is the calm of a man who has already faced himself. You fought your insecurities, endured isolation, mastered patience, and accepted loss. There's nothing left to fear, and that what makes you unstoppable. The untouchable man is not immune to pain, he simply no longer resists it. Pain sharp-pent him, failure indugs him, betrayal refines him. When others panic, you observe. When others demand answers, you smile. You operate above emotion, beyond approval, and outside expectation. The powerful need recognition, the untouchable need nothing. That's why they can't be manipulated. They've escaped the economy of attention, they enslaves the weak. Machiavelli said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. The untouchable man lives thy truth." He doesn't wait to be free, he acts free. He understands that the true empire worth ruling is the one within his own mind. So from this moment forward, stop chasing what can be taken, build what cannot. A calm mind, a disciplined will, a silent confidence that no circumstance can corrupt. Comment this right now, "I'm untouchable." Let it eat in your thoughts like an oath. Because once you reach this level, there is no going back. The world will test you, but you'll remain unbothered. A storm contained within serenity. This is your final transformation. You are no longer learning power, you are power. Now, subscribe and turn on notifications, because this isn't entertainment, it's evolution. Welcome to Mental Fort, and men become untouchable.